I just said, look, I watch a lot of outdoor TV. I love to hunt. I'll give it a try. So we came up with the concept of pure hunting. You'd have told me I'd be doing it 7 years. I'd have said, you've been living in Colorado and smoking that wacky weed too long, because we all know the attrition in this industry, right? We're going to be moving to Bozeman, Montana, from a lifelong Colorado native. My wife and I are in a house that we've been in 15 years, and we were going to become empty nesters and potentially retire there. Whoops. She says, okay, you've got a day to transition.
2 days.
But then, it's 2 days?
Yep.
Okay, sometimes it's 2 days. Maybe it depends on how long the trip is or how successful it was.
2 full days.
Okay. She called me. She says, Dad, I need to buy a chest cooler. I'm like, well, what do you need that for? For the elk I'm going to kill. I'm like, well, I applaud you. That's putting the cart before the horse a little bit, you know. Sherry's like, Samantha, I think you have a hidden testicle somewhere. You're just enough of
I can't
male.
believe you just told that story.
Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Wilderness Attitude Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon, and Willi is no stranger to the podcast at this point, and no stranger to my Instagram feed. It is not a secret that I watch everything he does, and it's not a secret that I look up to him as a mentor in a lot of ways, as far as how he carries himself in the hunting industry, how he carries himself as a man in general in the public, and also just the compassion that he has for people, the compassion he has for strangers, and I can't thank him enough for what he's done for me. But enough with my bromance. But let's get to it. Willi Schmidt, thanks for joining me, man.
Well, thanks for having me.
I appreciate it a ton.
Yeah.
And I always can remember when we first met and at Train to Hunt, and we've talked about destiny or fate or whatever it is, that's brought us together. But I know that one thing for certain is that we uphold a lot of the same values in the wilderness and out of the wilderness.
Yep.
And you're just a little ahead of me, I think, in some of that. But you've got a lot of experience in this industry, and a lot of experience in the woods, and a lot of experience behind a bow and different things. And I, by no means, am someone who thinks that I know it all. And I love to learn, and I love to soak it up, and I love to pay attention to what people are doing. And so, I don't know if that's what gravitated. You just parked next to me. It's not like I'm a stalker. I was there first.
You were.
My camper was there before you got there.
Your nice big camper, and I pulled up in my little pop-up trailer.
Dude, but it has a function to a means, right?
It does.
You can take that pop-up trailer places. I can't take my rig, man.
Very true, and that's why I bought that one.
Right?
Absolutely. But no, I thought it was, again, fate, whatever you want to say, that we ended up there next to each other for the Train to Hunt competition, and what it turned into was, here we are a year later, and we've spent a lot of time trading emails, text messages, phone calls, seeing each other at other trade shows, and I don't know. That's to me what the hunting and or hunting fitness community does is bring people, like-minded people, together.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, we would have never known each other.
That's right.
I can't tell you the amount of people that I've met in this industry. Well, it's easy to meet people in a setting like this. But I've met a lot of people just in the woods that I would have never been friends with, right? That I had no idea who they were. But then circumstances put us together in the same place at the same time. And the next thing I know who the Flight for Life pilot is at the hospital, or the next thing I know, Tom, Dick, and Harry. But they're, and then we become friends. Even through like you're saying, this community, I met Greg Mumm, a good friend of mine. I just sent him a message one day and said, hey, you're here locally. Well, I've been trying to get a group of guys together to go hike a mountain, and work out. And is this up your alley? And he's just like, dude, yeah,
Yeah.
And you'd have to meet Greg to understand that whole comment. Dude,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Enough said.
He's straight. He is straight out of Cali, baby.
Really?
He's he's young, he's passionate, and he's just a crack up. But he's a great guy. And so, that, like you say, just to reiterate what you're saying, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yep.
And it's a community that I've really grown to enjoy. And I've met some real genuine people, here.
Yep.
And you got to be cautious, right? I mean, I know that a lot of people in this industry, they looking at me as a new podcaster and whatnot. I mean, obviously there's podcasters that are set in stone in this industry, right, that are a mainstay and the leaders of getting this community in the public's eye probably more than it's ever has been. I mean, there's a lot to be said for Brian, and there's lots to be said for, other podcasts or whatever. But when I first got into it, everybody's they kind of watch you for a few, man. They want to see what your gig is,
Yep.
what your intentions are, and rightfully so, right?
I don't think it's unlike the hunting television business, right? I mean, I certainly, when I started 7 years ago, it was not this newfound, first TV hunting show,
Right.
and hunting TV show, and you're seeing people that you've seen on TV, and you're not starstruck by any means, but you're like, that's really cool. I mean, they're regular people, and now after 7 years, a lot of them have become friends.
Right.
And you just stick to your roots, be true to yourself, do what you think's right, follow your passion, and
Right.
good things happen. But yeah, when you first come out, it's like, okay, there's another one. What's the shtick? What's the difference?
Yeah.
But you could just do what you're doing and love to do passionately, and that's all that matters.
And it'll resonate from there.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And if it's positive, then usually it's got a place to be.
That's right.
People can accept it.
You betcha.
And, and that brings me to a good question. I mean, 7 years ago you got into this. I mean, I think I've asked you this, but I don't think I've ever asked you this on air. But, I mean, where did you come from, man? Where did you come from as a kid and a teenager and into adulthood? And then here you find yourself, I mean, in a hunting TV show and...
I'll give you, I guess, if there's a Reader's Digest condensed version. Born and raised in Colorado, Fort Collins. My dad was a wildlife biologist, a professor at CSU, but a passionate outdoorsman. And like a lot of people, but literally at 3 years old, I was following him around in the woods, being his bird dog and just watching and loving it. And I just fell in love with it. But, went to college, got married, started a career. I was a banker, commercial banker for 14 years, coat and tie every single day.
What? Really?
Yeah. And people would laugh when I'd say I was going hunting. I mean, I had 2 weeks vacation. I told my wife 1 week is always going to be archery elk hunting. The other one is whatever you want to do. And as it was there longer, it built into 3 and 4 weeks. But then our bank was acquired by another bank. And long story short, I knew after a while that's not what I wanted to keep doing.
Right.
Smaller fish, bigger pond, and couldn't take care of customers the way you used to. And one of my customers was a major production company out of Denver that did outdoor television. And they contacted me after I said I was leaving the bank just to notify my customers, asked if I ever had an interest in it. And I just said, look, I watch a lot of outdoor TV. I love to hunt. I'll give it a try. I don't know. I can't tell you no till I try.
Right.
And so I became a co-host of Whitetail Revolution and one or two other shows for about 3 years. And then a couple guys left, started their own production company. And like anybody going out on their own needs something to do. And thought there was an opportunity, so we came up with a concept of pure hunting, which at the end of the day, I never, A, thought I'd have my own show, or B, what the concept would be. Mm-hmm. But at the time, there wasn't a whole lot of really good Western shows that were telling a story in a cinematic way. And this production company wanted to take their editing and post-production skills, put it out there. Now there's obviously many more. But just hunt the way the majority of people hunt. It's not all public. It's not all private. But if it's private, we're not, paying outfitters big fees and going on it. It's a do-it-yourself or a trespass fee or something. And we show the successes and failures as they happen.
Right. And
when I started, if you'd have told me I'd be doing it 7 years, I'd have said, you've been living in Colorado and smoking that wacky weed too long, because we all know the attrition in this industry, right?
Right.
But I think a lot of people don't treat it like a business. They just think it's cool to have a TV show, which it is. But, I take my business background, I treat it like a business, build long-term relationships with partners, and just fortunate to have been around. I talked to a couple of people who've been in it far longer than I have, and they said, you stuck to your roots
and who you
believed
are.
in what you were, and just you're always, consistent in who you've been, and it's gotten you where you are.
Right.
So I'm very appreciative, and I'm humbled and surprised and all of those emotions, but I love it. And this trade show here is the pinnacle of kind of the end of the year and what it all embodies, because it's great people sharing the same passion and just enjoying, for 3 or 4 days being able to talk about stuff like this.
Yeah, and we're at the Western Hunt Expo. I didn't say that in the beginning, I don't think. You had been, but in the Wilderness Athlete booth, and you're right. I mean, this is my first season. I got to go through ATA, Sheep Show here, and it's my first roll of the show season, so to speak. I dabbled a little bit last year, but not in the same context I'm in this year, and it's certainly awesome to see the communities come together. It's really cool to see the general public, the community, the organizations, the outfitters, the companies, all the TV production shows, all the media. They come together here, and it's amazing. A lot of people call it a bro fest here, right? That's kind of a thrown around term.
Right.
But what it really is a meeting of like-minded and passionate people. And, and it's a time for us to organize ourselves. It's a time to pay tribute to people that have done great works in the industry, right? And it's a great chance for, ordinary people, especially this show, ordinary people to win a chance of a lifetime tag and different things like that, right? That I think is super cool.
Yep.
I know dudes that drive here just to walk in here, fill that out, and drive home 6 hours.
That's right.
Because this is the opportunity.
Yep.
But I think but I have to admit, I've never been more welcomed and more genuinely accepted in anything else I've done in my life. I don't know if it's maybe just the age I'm at and the way I carry myself now, or some difference in who I am, but I've been totally welcomed with open arms, and it's been really cool. But that falls on the mountain, that falls anywhere, like the things we're talking about, right? Just in a general community of hunters, most hunters really, oh, you're a hunter? Oh, it just changed everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could tell by, your camo that or you know what I mean? Or the hat, like the hats, right? Hats say so much about everybody. It's the number one selling thing here is a hat.
Yep.
And I think it's cool that it all comes together. But we talked before the podcast, I'm kind of rambling, but about the fact that, the fitness side has really made a change in this world. Were you as fit 7 years ago when you started pure hunting as you are today?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't at times maybe, but not as consistently.
Right.
And a lot of it is because I'm in the hunting industry and what I've, tried to promote, and you want to be ready every single year. So it has made a huge difference in that regard with me.
And I think that as an industry, you were, like you mentioned, what was it, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something, Cam Haines would put a post up that he's going to go somewhere to work out and 5 people would show up. Yeah. And now he has to cap it at 50, and he can, get $50 a head as well. But even with the $50 you look at, they end up giving you like $70 or $80 worth of stuff back. Swag, right?
No, I can remember actually it was my first ATA, and he was doing a workout, and it was Dan Staten, Cameron Haynes, Tim Kent, myself, and one other guy. That's it.
That's it.
That was it. At 5:30 at a
and it was
a gym.
Posted on social media.
Yep.
And that's all it showed up.
He did it. And so, and now not even just talking about his run and what it's doing. There's a 5K tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Wilderness Athlete Trained to Hunt's having a workout at CrossFit Box. There's a hike. Mm-hmm. And there have been multiple things. It used to be
there was a workout
and,
this morning. There was all sorts. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's this whole movement. It's becoming more popular. It's more known. It's more publicized here. A lot of it's social media and the growth in that. But used to be you'd get up in the morning and say you're going to go work out, and people would look at you like you had 3 heads. And now it's like you get texts in the morning. Heck, I got one from you the first morning. Did you get in the gym this mormorning?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, not yet, but I'm going. And you're like, all right, I'm already done. It's almost like a mini competition, but it motivates
I was looking
you to
for
get
a workout partner.
Well, I know. Well, in your crappy little gym, right? Yeah. But it just goes to show you it doesn't matter what the gym's like. You can get something in, just get a little sweat on.
Yeah, get it on, man. I mean, I jumped up on the elliptical and did all sorts of stuff and ran 3 miles, and you can figure it out, man. You don't need a gym to get fit, right? I mean, that's such a debunked thing, right? I mean, like everybody thinks, oh, well, I need this, I need that. No, it's just an excuse, man. That's all you got, right?
Yeah.
You can do whatever. I mean, even this morning, I actually slept in with Cal because I'm going to get up and go to the WA deal. But last night, I was laying in bed thinking, I got 35 pounds in that pack worth of podcast equipment. I could just throw that pack on, go downstairs, hit 12% on that treadmill, and get after it, man. Mm-hmm. And I've got it all put together.
Yep.
But then I slept in.
Yeah.
So you're probably up on me because you probably worked out today, didn't you?
I did it wasn't a huge workout, but it was something. Like I said, just get in and do something.
More than I got.
That's right.
I'm working on my foot and leg stamina. So I've decided that I'm going to try to stand 12 hours a day on concrete in my boots.
You're doing it.
I'm figuring out how I'm going to pull off the rim to rim to rim right now. But it's not working out so well.
It's not working out. Nope. I'm only at 6,900 steps so far. One day at SHOT Show, I had 24,000 steps. It was 13 miles.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy,
One
man.
day at SHOT Show. So on top of a workout, you got that kind of stuff in.
Yeah, you are walking. I've just been stuck right here. So I'm working out how to be a statue. Plant my feet in the concrete.
Well,
so what's new coming up for pure hunting? Where's that going this season?
Well, it's season 7. Yeah. It was a wonderful fall. I mean, I think we all know that success in the hunting seasons come and go and ebb and flow. And 2 years ago was a struggle, and this year was great. So I feel really good about the hunts that we had, the episodes we've got building. We're going to stay on the network, a Sportsman channel.
Sweet.
Like a lot of things, you're getting a little more of a digital presence. I started writing a blog that's obviously attached to the website, and sometimes some YouTube videos, and a couple of the blogs are getting pretty high rankings.
Nice.
Some do-it-yourself, elk hunting stuff. I incorporate some fitness with some fitness videos, just little examples of workouts, and trying to really grow. I'm working with a group out of Pennsylvania, Stone Road Media, that's helped with social media in general, and then they've started helping me with the blogs, and they know how to maximize the reach and that type of thing.
So I saw Stone Road Media at ATA.
Yep.
Did I not?
You did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, it's more than just having a TV show. You're not going to survive anymore if that's all you think you have. You have to kind of be everywhere. And it's website, it's blogs, it's certainly social media, it's a digital presence, whether it's other videos or doing some testimonial videos, web videos, product reviews, that type of thing. It's all encompassing. So there's not really any off season anymore. You're always doing something.
That's a fact. And a lot of people, I always kind of got the impression that blogs were kind of dying. Mm-hmm. But is it not? Is it resurging, or how's that?
I think if you've got if you've got content people want, they search it out.
Valuable.
Yeah. I mean, I've got one going right now that, and yes, some of them, you have to do that and incorporate some sponsors. I did a predator hunting one, Coyote 101 sort of thing, and talked about calls and calling and setups and that type of thing. It's morphed into a few, and we did it just between ATA and SHOT, and it's already climbed, and that's where Stone Road Media is very valuable in other areas as well, but specifically here on knowing keywords that people are searching for, being able to hashtag and connect to some of those things. But it's climbed into, in some areas, a top 10 blog on the search. So I don't know if that means we hit a soft spot that people now coyote hunting when the big game season's essentially over are focusing on that, so they're searching for information.
Seasonally hitting the right.
Well,
but that's how you got to play it, right? You got to play the seasonally, the seasonal attraction.
Yep. And along with that, we're doing a contest to win a Fox Pro Shockwave e-collar. And so you can kind of tie all those together. You can do the blog. You can mention this. You can say, see this contest, and people like and share. And it's just all-encompassing to hopefully grow your brand and your presence. But so anyway, that's what's going on right now. I've got a couple of hunts this still spring to do. I'm going to go to Texas hog and coyote hunting with a buddy of mine. You met Randy Peck at ATA.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
His family ranch. It's a fun time, and
that sounds like
he's got way too many hogs, and so we hunt those in the evening. And you got to get up in the morning and try to call some coyotes, and then may work on an axis deer hunt again for this summertime. But that'll kind of wrap up the season. But working on editing episodes. I don't edit, as you know, but the production company. Everybody thinks you've got all the time in the world. You don't have to start. Episodes air third quarter, which is the very end of June, early July. Well, you got to start delivering them 3 weeks beforehand, which means you've got to start a little behind the curve, exactly, to get your episodes out. So we got that, and then just personally, on top of all that getting going, we're going to be moving to Bozeman, Montana, from a lifelong Colorado native, which is a big change.
This is a big change. I mean, this is something you told yourself. You mentioned to me the other night that you told yourself that you would never leave Colorado, right?
My wife and I are in a house that we've been in 15 years, and we thought there's no reason for us to go anywhere else. We were going to become empty nesters and potentially retire there. Whoops.
So here you are.
Didn't see this coming.
Curveball big time. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, at least, Well, and you picked a good spot, right? I mean, Bozeman seems like a super cool place. What attracted you to go? What attracted you to Bozeman?
A lot of people have asked generally why Bozeman.
Yeah.
And we didn't go into this saying a couple years ago we want to move from Denver. I mean, I said we were going to retire there and go look at 12 different western cities that we thought might fit the bill. My dad years ago lived in Missoula, and he worked for the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, so I spent some time back and forth. We have some friends. He's actually an attorney in Bozeman, but he got his law degree in Colorado. We got to be friends. Then they moved back. They were from Ennis, Montana. So I'd visited them a few times. Thought it was really cool. It reminds me a lot of what Colorado was 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
Anyway, my daughter was looking at schools, both Montana and Montana State, and I just sort of threw out there when we were looking, did anybody think they could live there? Be careful what you wish for. Because all of a sudden, my wife really jumped at it. I actually went away for a couple weeks. She said, she came back, and she's like, I got to think of what you said. So we fell in love with Bozeman because we visited there a lot. We have friends there already. Through the outdoor industry, I've gotten to know a lot of people who live there. There's some outdoor.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in Montana.
Even though they complain about the growth, it's nowhere near what the Front Range of Colorado is experiencing. And Colorado doesn't feel like it used to. So we're not running away from anything. We're just looking for quality of life in the next phase.
Right.
My wife lost her mother and brother in the last 3 years, which kind of coincided with a lot of this of just saying, it's time for us to do something for us and a lifestyle change, and we're going to give it a whirl, man. We're excited.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm totally excited for you. I mean, you can just feel the glow and the impact. I mean, like, you're super stoked, aren't you?
I am.
I mean, I don't even know if can you even comprehend and put it into words?
No, not really, for lots of reasons. I mean, and there is a bit of bitterness with the sweet.
Yeah.
Lifelong Colorado, and I'm proud to be from Colorado. It's a gorgeous spot, but it is changing. We're also leaving a few family members behind. But I've thought a long time that if you wait for the perfect time, it never arrives.
No, it's like asking someone to marry you.
That's right.
It's never a good time.
No.
Oh, we'll wait until this, and our finances, or we have a house,
That's
or
right.
this, or that, and same with having kids,
Wait
right?
and have kids.
Oh, well, once, come on.
So if you waited till, anyway, we said we're going to do it, and gosh, we're not moving to Mars. I mean, we're moving to Bozeman, so we're only 10 hours away. It's an easy drive. We're going to come back, and we're building sort of our dream home. We've never built a home before. Got a great lot, and we're building it a little larger than maybe I wanted, like one extra bedroom. But frankly, we're building it for the time our kids are older, potentially married, and potentially having kids. But before then, man, we want people to come visit us. Shame on us if we aren't staying in touch with a lot of people, and we've got the facility now and we hope people come up. There's total archery challenge. There's hunting opportunities. Shoot, there's golf, and I'm a big golfer in the summertime. Their summer's much shorter up there.
Yeah, true.
So I'm sure my golf game will go to pot, but tons of fishing and, great outdoor lifestyle. So we hope people come and visit us.
You're going to have a website for making reservations.
I'll let my wife work on that.
To stay at the house, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, which bedroom do you want? We have his bedroom and the hers bedroom, or
that's right.
I don't know.
But yes,
be interesting.
We're very, very excited, and after you've lived a couple different houses, we've been in our house 15 years. You know what you wish you had and don't have. So, building our house, we're going to put some things in that we wish we've had for the last bunch of years.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to have a separate, we're calling it the barn, but it'll be, 2-car garage with above will be my office and man cave with my mounts and trophies, and that's where all the dudes are going to hang out.
Right. So. What other little things in the house? I mean, you piqued my interest here.
Oh, I mean, we're all hunters, and we come home and, no, but I'm going to have a little stackable little washer and dryer in that garage, so when I come home for a hunting trip, I don't have to traipse into the house and take over.
Yeah.
A
that's
little
a
thing
great
like
idea.
That. A dog washing just a little basin in the garage, so when they get really bad, you're in the garage, you hose them down, you're ready there instead of trying to take them into your bathroom and have them shake and get all over. It's a ranch with a basement, not a walkout. It's gorgeous views, and so it's nice, but it's simple. 3 bedrooms. We are putting a workout facility in because I work out in my wife and I work out in our basement all the time. But it's a regular basement, right?
It's just a regular basement.
So we're building a workout room there.
Nice.
So just formalizing
awesome.
it.
Man, I'm so happy for you, man. I mean, like you've done this the pure and right way, and it has paid off exponentially for you.
Well, I appreciate that.
Blessed.
Yeah. Oh,
Blessed.
no doubt. No doubt about it.
So, what's your what events are you going to be at this year? So I don't go to the ones that you're going to be at because you're in my age group, aren't you?
I think we both hate to admit that, yes, we are. I don't know. I mean, a lot of this is still sort of up in the air. I need to look at the schedule and see. Yeah. Building a house, I don't know exactly when we're going to move. I mean, it's June-ish. True. So, and that's the other thing that I'm trying to figure out on all my hunts. It's like, oh, well, how far of a drive is it? Well, from Colorado it would have been this. Well, you know what? It's only 4 hours because I'm going to be in Bozeman now or something like that.
Well, but now your Tucson, your Coos Deer trip is going to be 22 hours.
Yeah. I was joking with a guy on my Montana elk hunt. I said, the one thing is Colorado, we have great it's centrally located and great access to cheap flights with Southwest and everything. And, I mean, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, where I go, is not that far, all of those things.
Right.
But all of a sudden, I'm going to be tucked up there up north, and the guy's like, dude, I don't want to hear you complain about one more thing. You're moving to Bozeman, following your dream. That's the least of your concerns now.
Make a go of it, right?
That's right.
So, guess who just joined us?
Hello, Sherry.
You can put your microphone down there. Right.
Hi.
How are you? So, Sherry just got on the headset here. She's not in the camera, but I had a quick question for you.
What?
What is the coolest thing that you're putting in your new house that you've never had before?
Ooh.
Not his. Don't mention his stuff.
Okay. So
your stuff.
We won't go to the barn.
No.
I mean, the whole thing, that's
we already did that
cool.
discussion.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, okay, so the living room, as you look out the patio to the view of the mountain range,
right,
that whole wall is glass, sliding glass.
Sweet.
So in the summer, we can just open it all up and run to the backyard.
Yeah, killer. That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, now to the kitchen.
Ooh, the kitchen.
Tell me the best part of the kitchen design, because I'm an ex-chef. That's where I geek out, is on the kitchen part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the best thing is I'm not a Sub-Zero girl, but I got a really screaming deal on this. It's the column Sub-Zero with the wine column in the middle. It's like a piece of art.
No kidding, it is.
Yes.
Yeah. How cool is that?
It is so cool.
Right.
And the best thing is I hate my fridge right now. I've bought 2 or 3, and I hate them all.
Right.
You know, they're counter depth. There's no space. Things fall out. And this, I can have like one thing on each shelf and be fine. It's so big.
Well,
I love that.
yeah, she's so, you can tell how excited she is,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But keep in mind, we're also going from a time when we had 4 in our house and trying to cram all this, and now we're going down to 2 of us and getting
Right.
a bigger fridge. But that
It's
is
the
something.
best. I don't care. One thing on each shelf, I'm fine.
You know what? When I bought a fridge, I was just I couldn't open and close the door more when I put LED lights in it.
Ooh.
Yeah. Man, LED lighting.
I think it comes with that.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm just that simple. Right?
I know, it
just
doesn't
open the
take
door,
much.
It's like, look at that light. Look at that light. Look at that light.
We really are. It doesn't take a lot to make us happy. Just
Yeah.
the
Right.
simple pleasures.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Well, I know that one thing that, that's cool to see that I've talked with you about before is seeing marriages that have lasted in this industry. It's a topic for me because as I'm switching gears in my life in some aspects, it's important for me to be watching what you guys are doing. And we had this conversation at ATA, and it's really inspiring for me to see couples that are making it in this industry through all the stuff that he does, and all this, as much as he's gone, and and I'm always asking him, so how do you do that? How do you balance? How do you balance this all out? And I heard a good perspective yesterday that is like, well, when I'm home, I'm all in, and I do. I reintegrate quickly, and I make things happen, and and I balance that as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And I assume that that's kind of from the conversations I've had with Willi, like you're a pretty loving wife to put up with some of his running amok.
Well,
right?
We've been.
Are we
at
sure
this
we
a
want
long
her on
time.
here right
I know.
now? I mean,
I'm
come
like,
on now.
I can go so many different directions with this. This might be fun. No, but I mean, he's been hunting ever since we met.
Right.
So it was no surprise, and his dad warned me, if you don't like what you see with me, as in his dad, then you won't like your life with Willi.
Right.
But the coolest thing is that I love my time when he's away. Mm-hmm. So I get to go do my stuff, whether it's with girlfriends or golfing or riding my bike or just sitting in the basement with the clicker.
Right.
And watching my own shows.
And blasting through your
Yeah.
stuff.
Because a lot of times I run upstairs to turn on the TV at night to watch the news before he turns on golf or hunting or more hunting.
Or more hunting.
Yeah.
Or more hunting.
But yeah, definitely he digs in once he's home. And
Sometimes she laughs. She says, okay, you've got a day to transition because there is that mode of hunting, being on your own, everything, and coming back. She goes, sometimes you can be a little challenging for a day, but
2 days.
But then, it's 2 days?
Yep.
Okay, sometimes it's 2 days. Maybe it depends on how long the trip is or how successful it was.
2 full days.
Okay. But then I'm all in, right?
I know.
Well, I mean, but isn't that the case, though? I mean, it takes us 2 days to immerse into the woods.
That's true.
To go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
I know. For
Yep.
me.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes me 2 days to get down to the speed of the forest, right, and the speed of the animals, and down to that realm. So I could see where it's 2 days coming back out.
Yeah.
I just got to defend you a little bit.
Absolutely.
That's funny. My son and I look at each other when he gets home. That first day, we just do the look. We just look like, whoa, he's back. and
Willi,
then
Big
it's all
Willie's
good.
back.
It's all good.
That's awesome. Now, do you hunt?
I don't.
Okay, so great. Nah. So sorry.
No, go for it.
So what's your perspective on this whole industry, and as you've been a wife on the outside of this looking in? I mean, I'm super curious. What How have you seen it change, and what does it mean to you?
There's a lot of reasons why I'm not a hunter, and it's not probably for the reasons you might think, but just because, once again, I do like my alone time. So when he goes, I get that. But I just love seeing the passion and the respect for the animal. Like, I didn't get that whole part. My family growing up hunted, a lot of bird hunting, but you see the respect and the passion, and it's hard work. I haven't, hunted with Willie, but I've walked with him when he's hunting, and in Argentina, it about killed me. I'm like up the hill, down the hill. It's just, so it's cool because it's just, I have a lot of respect for hunters.
Right. And you've seen this industry change just as much as Willie has, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, even on the women's side of it, coming into it more, right?
I love it. Well, our daughter,
right?
I mean, if she had her choice, she'd quit school and hunt with Willie for the rest of her life.
Right.
Which, that'd be pretty cool, but it's not going to happen. Samantha?
When is Pure Hunting 2.0 going to start?
Well, I don't know. It's pretty cool. She won a Montana mule deer hunt. She's involved in conservation. She's got a chapter or two of things that she's involved in at Montana State. And the Wild Sheep Society had a hunt that they donated that was an Eastern Montana mule deer hunt, and she won it.
Whoa.
So it's Eastern Montana, and I said, she's got to check. Will they allow it to be filmed, number one, and how much, if any, publicity they want, or just keep it very agnostic? And number two, will they let me buy a trespass fee and hunt with her? But if not, I plan on going, because I think, like some of the other conversations before we were on air, it's about getting the next generation involved. And we know that license sales are down and that type of thing. But I think the women area is the one that there is a little bit of growth in. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so proud of what she's done that I think it'd be great to go and film that hunt. Father, daughter, her, and she's killed a few animals, but she's hunted her butt off in Montana on her own, doing it with her boyfriend, and has yet to have any success. And so this would be really cool for her to go out and hopefully have us do it together. So that might be Pure Hunting 1.7 before it goes to 2.0 and maybe more involved. But, I think everything's dynamic. As far as the show goes, and we're kind of like all over the place, I never want to change the DNA of the show, but you have to be dynamic and take advantage of opportunities and other people may be getting involved in stuff, but not change what it stands for and what we've tried to build through the brand.
So is she more the tomboy hunter type? I mean, did you not get your daughter?
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No, she's a good mix of.
Yeah.
But she definitely has. She's a little more.
Willi.
Outdoors. Yeah, she's
Willi style.
Yeah. She's what would you say, Willie? Like 3/4, you 1/4. No, it's good.
Isn't it funny how we have these conversations as parents? Like, we're like, oh no, she's all you,
right?
So he's all me, and
we'll still keep it very PG. But a funny story was she'd been up at Montana State for. She was starting her sophomore year, and she called me. She says, "Dad, I need to buy a chest cooler, chest freezer." I'm like, "Well, what do you need that for?" "For the elk I'm going to kill." I'm like, "Well, I applaud you. That's putting the cart before the horse a little bit, She was also living with two girls, they have small fridges, and they go to Costco and buy all that. So it made sense. Well, she called Sherry and said, "Yeah, I bought a chest freezer." Sherry was like, "What the heck? I can't believe you did that." Well, Dad thought it was really great, and all this stuff. And she told her because of the elk she was going to kill. And Sherry's like, "Samantha, I think you have a hidden testicle somewhere. You're just enough of
I can't
male."
believe you just told that story.
Well, I'm an open book, man, and I think that's hysterical.
Transparency.
That's right.
But
Samantha
hysterical.
said she thought that was hysterical.
Right.
She's like, "Oh, maybe I do."
Maybe I do. It's hiding somewhere.
You look at her, you don't think there's anything like
no.
that in there. She loves the outdoors. She is passionate about it. She gets all fired up when somebody posts something that just and she'd say stupid on social media. I'm like, you need to temper it a little bit. But she knows her stuff, and she's majoring in wildlife ecology. She loves it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Yeah.
It's fun to watch her.
Well, and your boys, right?
I know. Yeah, he's a hockey player, graduating, probably going to Montana State. Wants to be an engineer. He loves the outdoors, but he's not as passionate as she is. If I invite him to go do something, he's all in and loves it. But he just doesn't. He doesn't have the passion and desire where he wants to do it all the time, and is not asking me to take him.
Right.
And you're disappointed in that, but when he's out there, he's all in, and we all know if you establish that baseline, where's it going to go?
Right.
Because so many kids are never going to be introduced to it or have that experience, and you may have lost them already.
Right.
So that foundation's there.
Is he going to play hockey up there?
They've got a good club team coming along. He would love to, and he's trying to. You can only control what you can control, and one's not his height. He's grown quite a bit. He's about my size, and thank God, because a year ago he was 3 inches shorter, and we were worried. But he's a freaking bright, smart kid. I mean, to be an engineer, and he's trying to work out and do some things, and he's thinking forward about tryouts and wanting to play. And, as anything, even though it's club, they're quality hockey players up there. And so it may not happen till his sophomore or junior year, but if he's in there and does it right, he'll hopefully become part of it. It's something that's something he's really passionate about.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, it just oozes from both of you, where your guys' passions are and your beliefs and your positivity and all that. And, it just transforms into every aspect of your life, your show and kids and college and marriage, and it's awesome.
Well, I love having her here. She's been to SHOT Show 1 or 2 times, and other than it being Vegas, maybe going out tonight, it's a different show with all the meetings, and this is the one she really likes to come to because you are seeing so many people in the industry. She hears all the people that I talk about at these other shows.
Right.
We watch outdoor TV, and I know him, I know her, opinions of them, and so it's really fun for her to meet these people, put a face with a name, and understand where I'm coming from because there's always a little uncertainty there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that was the coolest part of having Callie come too, even on the at Sheep Show in here. She finally got to see. I'm like, because I go home and I have to try to regurgitate all of this information and all of this experience, and it's like it's not the same if you're not there.
Yeah,
she just kind of looks at you like, okay.
You have 3 heads. What are you talking about?
Okay, if you say so, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, trust me, I know. And she's like, oh, I know you know.
Right, exactly.
Well, hunters are just cool in general. All you guys are good, solid people. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah. That's what I was telling him earlier. I was talking to him. It's just amazing the quality of people that I've met in this industry.
Yes.
And how they've welcomed me in it. And how it's not fake.
No.
I mean, there's plenty of Hollywood out there, right? There's plenty of that in the industry. But I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if I'm just lucky or what. But I have just kind of fallen into the right mix.
Yeah.
Birds of a feather. You meet some people you really resonate with, and you get a sense, I think, early on of your values and how you want to be and conduct yourself and surround yourself with those people, and that just kind of grows with that same circle of people. I think of ATA, your first ATA, and I was so thrilled to have you there because we hadn't really seen each other since Train to Hunt, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And just introducing people to each other, and it just builds your circle of like-minded people.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
and
no
I
doubt
have
about
to
it.
thank you immensely for that. I mean, you took me under your wing that one night, and it was like I got back, and I was just like sitting down trying to write down everybody's names and trying to remember, okay, who were they, and trying to remember because it was just I was blown away. I mean, and it was so funny. Did Butch tell you that he gave me a spirit name?
I don't know if he did or not.
Has he given you a spirit name?
It's Knucklehead. That's another story, but that's not really my spirit name.
I don't think that's a spirit name.
No, that's more a nickname, but no, he hasn't.
What did mine? Okay. So mine is Rear View.
Oh.
Rear View.
I don't think
That
that's
doesn't sound like a spirit
either.
name. But I love Butch's logic in his mind. What's the story
you remember
behind
where I met Butch, right? in the Uber vehicle that me and you climbed in through the back gate into the rear seat.
After the
together.
Badlands film tour.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And he was in the front seat, passenger side, and he saw us climbing in the back seat through the driver's rearview mirror. He did not understand how that was really supposed to happen because shouldn't the driver be the one looking but he had a perspective that he could see through the rearview mirror and could see Mr. Kuyu climbing in the back seat. Remember, he started screaming, "Who's Kuyu? Who's this Kuyu guy back here?"
Yeah.
And so then he, yesterday, standing here in the podcast, told me that my spirit name was Rearview.
Oh, I don't like that one.
So anyway, I got to know the Knucklehead spirit name.
Well, that has to do with sponsors and a bunch of stuff, but before I had
are we going to go there? Should we go there?
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out how to make it quick and simple. But I didn't have a clothing sponsor, and I went out on my own and bought a bunch of Cryptic. It actually was through Kenton and Dan at Train to Hunt. They were using them. And so went out and did a bunch of it and didn't ask for anything, paid full price, used it. Then Browning came on board, and Cryptic hadn't taken off like they had. And, it's a business.
Right.
And anyway, I went that way, and he was telling somebody else that story, another show who was looking to him for sponsorship, and he said, "I've got a story for you. Let's call him Knucklehead." And just told him how, in his opinion, the way it should be done. This guy was going and asking him for a bunch of money and had never even worn their stuff. And he said a guy who paid full price never asked for anything.
Right.
And the relationship and how much stronger it was, and that's the way he felt it should be done. But he didn't want to name me by name. And I'm letting the cat out of the bag, but I was Knucklehead. I said, "I'll always be your Knucklehead. That's okay, Butch."
Right.
And the personal relationship has always stayed and is very strong.
Yeah, and that was a cool meeting that night. Getting yelled at from him from the front seat and getting totally called out in front of a bunch of people. I had no clue who they were.
You were trial by fire that night,
the
brother.
The only person I knew was this guy, and I was sitting in the back seat with him. I was like, reach over, grab his head, like, "What did you bring me into, man?" But it worked out really well.
Yep. Well, I think that's, other stories, relationships. I think that's what we all need to do. And there are some people, you said Hollywood, there's some people who are very selfish and me-oriented and short-sighted. And we aren't hanging out with those people. And I feel that this is the way things are done. And I didn't have that when I started. I mean, I was just wandering around, and it took me a long time. And you're seeing these people, and I just try to give back, man. I mean, why recreate the wheel and why make the learning curve like this when it can be like this? And, just help good people because it pays dividends. Karma will come around, and I don't know.
That's a fact.
I'm happy to do it. And I wouldn't be doing it if you and I didn't click the way we had. I want you to meet people, and I want you to be successable. And you can choose whether they're going to fit your model or not. But
I'm still trying to figure out the model.
We always are.
I got talks. There's lots of talks I need to have after this 2-month run here.
Yeah.
That I need to kind of figure out, and I'll be in your ear pretty hard, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure you'll ask Callie as well. In fact, she's here and seen this. Hopefully now, instead of going home and just internalizing all of it, can utilize her to bounce things off of. I'll do it to Sherry. She doesn't know the industry and maybe the people, but I'm like, I need to talk to somebody about something.
Well, we were doing that in the elevator last night, right? I mean, and I can't tell you. I mean, I value you guys' opinions a lot, but in the end, Callie has always had probably the most rock solid opinion and perception and things, especially if it has to do with me.
Absolutely.
It comes
down to I'm stubborn.
She's stubborn. Well, but
I am too. It's all good.
She's stubborn. There's no doubt about it. But I think that the redhead plays its role in the proper manner.
Yep.
Trial by fire. Is no, it's not quite like that. No, literally. Well, one thing we definitely need to touch on before we get off, and we need to get moving here. We got places to be. But for our listeners, Willie, we've talked a little bit about the industry. We've talked about different aspects of it. And I just want to throw it out there that we talked about prior to the podcast that, we can all sit back and we can see how we're dividing ourselves by weapon choice or by camo choice or by backpack choice or whatever, and you know, and the people outside of our industry are just feeding off of, you know, our inner destruction, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the key point that I think that we both agreed upon is that it all starts right here. It starts with you, starts with me, starts with our family, starts with our kids, starts with the friendships like this, and realizing that, you know, we have to stick together, right? We have to stick together. We have to find that common interest that we all have the same things in mind, and we can call it conservation, we can call it saving public lands, we can, you know, I mean, there's lots of entity labels we can put on it, but in the end, it's just humanity. It's just what we're just trying to be human. We're trying to be diligent of what we're put on this earth here to protect and to be a part of and to manage and to work on those common interests together, right?
Yep.
Can you elaborate on that from your point of view?
Man, that's sort of the elephant in the room in a lot of these things that are going on right now of hunters are fighting so much amongst themselves, the antis really don't have to do much.
Right.
But I think, as you and I talked, I don't think collectively we're going to gather ourselves enough to make a difference. If every person individually can make that difference one at a time, we might get there. I mean, Sherry, I think, and people like Sherry can be a great asset to us. I mean, she said how great these hunters are. I think you're not going to sway somebody who's involved in PETA, right? I mean, it's just not going to happen. But what about that middle third? You got the antis, you got the hunters. What about the middle third? Which way are they going to be swayed?
Yep.
And I think if people say hunters are not bloodthirsty killers, maniacal psychopaths, right? That's how we're portrayed. that we're passionate about it. It's a heritage. It's more about the kill. It's about the experience and the hunt and the camaraderie and what it provides. And yes, you do hope to kill something, but you don't take that lightly. I mean, we went to this film last night, and both films had a theme there that you don't take it lightly. It is a powerful thing, and you need to show respect and remorse. But that we're utilizing the whole thing. It's the experience, it's the adventure, and we're eating the meat, and it's as organic as it can get. And we're normal people, and we're bound by that common bond. Right. We shouldn't be embarrassed to say we're hunters.
Right.
I heard a story, actually Jim Libator, who is CEO of the OSG, Outdoor Sportsman's Group. Short story was his sister-in-law was getting wood delivered. The guy was there. She said, "Oh, what do you got going this weekend?" He said, "Oh, I'm just going out in the woods with my son." She goes, "Well, what are you going to do?" "Oh, it's just a trip we do annually." He was embarrassed to say he was a hunter. And finally she said, "Well, what are you doing?" He goes, "Well, we have a hunting trip." She's like, "Good for you. That's awesome." He's like, "Oh, I'm so glad to hear you say that because so many people, I'm afraid, you know, and he got to worry about his business, and it's almost like getting political, and it shouldn't be that way."
Right.
We should be proud of what we're proud of.
That's right. Be proud of who we are.
Yep.
Right? Because we are who we are.
That's right.
And it's not going to change. And you know, it's our passion. It's deep in our heart and deep in our soul, and it's ingrained in us, and that's the choice we made. And people are allowed to have that choice, is what they want to do. So condemning our choice doesn't make sense when you can validate your choice.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that's huge. And I just think within the industry, you know, if you're listening to this podcast, you know, that's just it. Be true to who you are. Be true to yourself. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Surround yourself with people that feel the way you do. But don't be afraid to offer other people that opportunity to go do what you do. You know, like they say, it's like, oh, you know, taking your kid hunting, that's great. But how about taking your kid's friend hunting?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
They may not be in a hunting family, and they may not be in an outdoors family. They may not be in a workout family. They may not be in a lot of things. And that kid might just need that one opportunity for him to realize and grow for himself and realize, wow, that is something I like, you know?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think that's super important. And, you know, and be loyal to yourself. Be loyal to your friends. Be transparent. Be honest. Carry forth.
There you go.
Right?
You got it.
Does that sound good?
It sounds perfect to me.
Sounds kind of eloquent.
That was really good.
Wow.
Have you done this before?
Every now and then it just oozes out of me like I don't know how.
You're on a roll. Keep going.
No, we'll cut it right there. That's good. I think everybody's got the point, and I just thank you so much, Willie. I can't thank you enough for who you are. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me. I really appreciate it, and I'm just really looking forward to a lot of more years of friendship and having good times. Maybe one day we get to hunt together.
We should plan that.
One day
Montana,
that'd be
Colorado,
pretty cool.
somewhere in between. But you better come up and visit. We'll have a cool barn you can stay in.
I want to come up and visit. I want to come to Montana a lot, to be honest.
Well, once we're there, you'll have a spot.
Come
Yeah,
on out.
I was telling him before you got on, Sherry, that you're going to have to set up a website for a reservation system because you know how popular you guys are going to be.
I know, but that's why I demanded that extra guest room.
Right.
He's like, we don't need that one. I said, oh, just wait.
Oh, you have no
Right?
idea.
That's right.
Uh-huh. And what did I say? Yes, dear.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. Who won? Red.
Red.
You always bet on red, Willie.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to the Wilderness Attitude Podcast. Thanks so much for everybody for being a part of this. Thanks for your support. I really appreciate the reviews you've been leaving. I really appreciate the kind words. I really appreciate the messages on Instagram and the emails. It's inspiring. It's awesome. Thank you so much for that. It really makes me feel like maybe what is transpiring in my life and what is happening with my family and the show is actually making a difference. So that's why we're here. That's what we really want to do, and so we really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
This is Willi Schmidt live from the not the National Western Stock Show. This is take 2. I don't know where that came from. Hey, this is Willi Schmidt live from the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo in Salt Lake City. Thanks for tuning in to the Wilderness Attitude Podcast.